This is the Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
La marijuana tree, your leaves are so unchanging. Marijuana tree, you fill our lungs with THC. On Christmas Day, you stand so tall, affording flame to one and all. Marijuana tree, you fill our lungs with THC. Let's switch it up, yo. Marijuana under the tree. You wanna get high with me? Yes. What? I smoke the best. So homie, don't test. Santa Claus is coming to town to bring me a pound. Can't wait till he hits the ground. What? He has the green, know what I mean? Orderly. I hope his king don't wanna be marijuana tree. Marijuana tree. Huh? You fill our lungs with THC. Hey, what's up, homegirl?
Hey, what's up, pony boy? Is that a bong in your pocket, or you just happy to see me?
I'm just happy to see you. What? What's going on?
You know it's just the Christmas season.
What, man? What's up with that mistletoe in your belly button?
You know what's up with the mistletoe? It's just the Christmas traditions. Kiss these lips beneath these mistletoes.
What? Deck my balls with boughs of holly. Act like you know. You know what's going on?
Yeah,
Oh,
This is Grandma's,
right here.
Grandma
You
baked
want
a
the
Santa
snack?
cake. It didn't turn out. Tell him, Grandma.
It stayed in the grow room too long. Yeah, it just fell apart. It sure did. Don't never bake a cake whenever you're taking your medicine, y'all. It'll turn out like this boy. But it's going down.
Boom! There it goes.
Countdown to launch. It's the Medical Marijuana
Launch commit.
Radio Show.
Guidance is internal. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Power cleared.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show is a production of the Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
You tuned in to that Medical Marijuana Show. 855 Triple M Radio.
Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal.
You tuned in to that Medical Marijuana Show. 855 Triple
Folks,
M
Denise 8
Radio.
here, and we're not live in Detroit. This time we're on tape, but we're still on 1310 AM Detroit's Progressive Talk.
Steve is the host with the co-host Denise. Starting at noon Saturdays every week. Yes, we keeping you legal. Legislators and lawyers, doctors and the growers. The show is for the people. Michigan Medical Marijuana, no hassle. We talk about anything, any issue we can handle. Call us up and let us know what is on your mind. And make sure when you do it legal every time. You tuned in to that Medical Marijuana Show. 855
Hey, welcome to another Medical Marijuana Radio Show. I want to say it's for December 24th. That's 12/24/2011. It's actually live today. We're taping the show live today. Today's December 20th. But the program's going to air on 1310 over the weekend. So welcome to the show. Denise is not here today. Denise is actually working at the moment that we're taping the program. So normally she's on the weekend just doing her thing. With me on the phone today, I don't know if he'll guest co-host or not, but he's certainly a guest, and he's a great one at that. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Rick Thompson. Rick, hello to the program.
Hello, everybody, and happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate. People celebrate all kinds of holidays at Christmas time. Did you hear the intro there? I mean, I don't know. It certainly doesn't always celebrate the medical message, but I thought it was kind of funny. It was Christmas themey, so I played it.
Mm-hmm. Part of our community, we got to embrace all different aspects.
Hey, I say if it celebrates this message, it's not a bad one in any way, shape, or form.
Well, how about if it makes you laugh? It's not a bad one, that's for sure.
Laughter is the best form of medicine, I say. Well, it's not going to get rid of much pain. Emotional pain, I think so, yeah.
Well, laughter is the freest medicine, that's for sure.
And it's at least, if you laugh at Bill Schuette, he can't put you in jail.
He's trying, though. He's trying.
If he could, he would. If he could make a buck off a laugh somewhere off
he's like the character, the Burgermeister, from one of those old animated specials. The Burgermeister, Meisterburger.
Yeah, I never pictured him like that, but I suppose I could paint that easily. It's funny. So this is the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. We're on 1310 a.m. We're also streaming live. We'll be streaming live again when it does the rebroadcast, when it does the replay. You will not be able to call and join the program, so we're going to have to call people today. And we've got a group of them lined up. I'd like to call Eric from Genesee Triple C. He's going to be working up there at the dispensary that he's at. He manages a dispensary up in Flint. So I'd like to see if we can get him on. We'll see yet if that will transpire. We definitely will have Daniel on from the Buzz News. Daniel wants to talk about stuff. Boy, he just got back from the whole Amsterdam thing, Rick, and you doing a publication yourself know how if you take a few days off, how you can get backed up.
So really, especially when you have a production schedule, it's very demanding, and obviously your readers expect things to be delivered on time. So you don't have the luxury of taking any personal time off unless you already have a plan to be able to recoup those jobs.
Rick's the editor of 4M Magazine. How's it going, Rick? Are you guys publishing this month?
Actually, we're looking at some different options as far as publishers go and publications go. We're switching things up a little bit, but definitely where production is definitely scheduled without question.
Yeah. So this guy from Buzz News, Daniel, he's like I said, he just got back from Amsterdam. He sent us a bunch of pictures. I really wanted him to send us pictures at the time of the whole Cannabis Cup interruption by the police out there. The guys in the Netherlands, the local police there in Amsterdam, did a little shake-up. It was really nothing. It was nothing to do about nothing. But the fact that the police interfered at all at the Cannabis Cup after, 25 years there now? What is it? How long has it been there?
Well, they've got a new set of rules also, too, that states that any foreigners are not allowed to purchase or possess cannabis. That it can only be privilege that's enjoyed by the citizens of the state, which is really going to affect the tourism trade over there. And my understanding is that's a huge part of what they do in a particular country in order to raise revenue.
Well,
it's like a very short-sighted policy.
It's an effective one. Not the policy that you just mentioned. I mean, it's an effective way to raise revenue over there. Having that tourism for sure.
You look at the success of ecotourism in different spots around the world, and you'll note that people are willing to spend their vacation dollars doing something that they really enjoy. And I believe cannabis and the medication involved in cannabis is something that people would definitely travel to. We've seen the success of Amsterdam in that particular region, and that's something that we could duplicate here in Michigan.
I think so, too. So Daniel from the Buzz News will come on and update us about what's coming up and things that are happening. We're going to talk a little bit, hopefully, about the upcoming Buddy Awards. Those are going to be January 29th in Ann Arbor, Michigan, 2900 Jackson Avenue. We'll be in the auditorium there. I got to call, see if we can get a hold of Ben from Michigan Organic Solutions and see if we can get him on today. That would be a good thing, too. We're going to try. Like I said, I can't guarantee because I'm outbound calling and tying these things together on an iPhone over the internet. There you go. So we're going to give that a shot and see how it works. Keep our fingers crossed. We're going to keep the Christmas theme going.
You're a multi-talented individual, Steve. If anybody could pull it off, I'm sure you can.
I'm going to give it a shot. Rubbing my hands together. So normally I would invite, this is the point where I'd invite people to call the program, but I really can't do that now, can I, Rick?
No, you can't because it's pre-recorded, but we can still invite people to call their congressmen, to call their representatives, or even to call a patient that they may know of that might be suffering from the holiday blues. Instead of calling the radio program, make a connection with someone in our community that might need a little bit of extra holiday cheer this season and really show what compassion is all about.
Hey, what a great idea, because that is the message that we're spreading love and cheer and Christmas joy. And, if you got sick friends, that participate in this program over the holidays, especially ones that are homebound or that can't get around that much, if you got an MS patient or somebody with severe epilepsy or any of these conditions that take you down to that degree, please make a visit on them. Go see them. Make sure that, they're remembered and welcome in this holiday season.
For some of us, it's the most fun time of the year, but for others, it's the most torturous time. And it's difficult to recognize those symptoms in your friends, but just make sure that you have an opportunity to contact those that maybe you've fallen out of touch with, to make sure that they show that there's someone out there that's caring for them.
It's an important thing to do. Really, really important thing to do. So what else is coming up? We talk about the Blue Water Compassion Club up there. You got some information about that going down, Rick? You've been working on some press releases this week, yes?
Sure. We've actually we're trying to put together an opportunity for the community to publicly discuss what the advantages of safe access are and what the different ramifications are for when they close centers like the Blue Water Compassion Centers were. So we're going to go to the Worth Township meeting. As of this broadcast on 1310, that meeting will already have taken place. But for anybody that happens to be listening to this broadcast prior to the 21st, which is Wednesday, at 6:30, we'll be meeting at the Worth Township Hall in order to not demonstrate, but to be at the council meeting to take an opportunity during the public comment portion to explain why safe access is important to us. There's a big aspect of this that a lot of people didn't realize. Confiscated along with the monies at Blue Water were $1,500 that were set aside for a Christmas wish program. Each of the 3 locations at Blue Water had donated $500. And they had advertised this and asked for families to submit letters detailing what their needs were and why they felt they deserved to be helped this season. Well, about half a dozen families did respond to that, and that $1,500 was ready to go to those charities, to that charitable purpose, and it was confiscated by the police. So now those folks are going to be without that aid and we're hoping for this season. So one of the things we're hoping to do at the Worth Township Hall is to maybe have another charity pick up on the fact that these folks are still in need and maybe take up that thing that Blue Water can no longer do. Provide those families with that Christmas wish that they've been hoping so hard for.
Well, and I think there's some bigger things to talk about there, too, and I don't know if we'll have time during the program to do it, but I'd like to open up that idea at some point in time, figure out, A, is it apropos for the police to steal charitable funds and goods as related to a program like that? I mean, I would say no. I think that's a self-begging question with a self-begging answer. And then also, if they are going to confiscate these things, who's getting A, the credit for the donation, and B, where is this stuff going? Is you going to auction this stuff off and put it in your own pockets, Mr. Piggies? I don't get that.
And this raises larger issues about forfeiture laws in general, and the way that we can alter them to make it less punitive and more appropriate for the crimes involved. But I know that's a longer segment for us to discuss.
Yeah, we've only got an hour of this show, and actually the hour's been shortened to about 58 minutes for medical reasons this time around.
Well, you're not taking those 2 minutes away from my time, though, are you?
Look, you've been on hold since we started this show, so we're not shorting you at all.
I'm just fine with the amount of time you give me, that's for sure.
So what else is going on in the news? Is there other stuff? We got calendar events coming up. There's, you just mentioned one of them.
A couple of court events. Also the same day, the 21st, which is Wednesday, Big Daddy's Management Group in Chesterfield Township will have oral arguments in their case presented. That'll be at the Mount Clemens courthourse.
So they're actually going to hear this case now. They're going to actually, go back and listen to what didn't get heard before.
Sure. The oral arguments start at 1 o'clock on that day at the courthouse in Mount Clemens. And as Steve mentioned, they had previously decided that they weren't going to hear these arguments because the judge already dropped the decision on November 30th. So we convinced them through our legal attorneys that it's a premature thing to do. Since he asked for oral
listen.
And also asked
we're going to break, Rick. We got to go to break. We'll talk about the calendar of events coming up.
We'll be right back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. Hey, Steve Greene here for the medical marijuana certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99. for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville. The Patient's Place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Time to decorate the tree. Hang up the mistletoe. Give gifts. Keep that chimney clean. Santa's
Hey,
on his
Merry
way.
Christmas
What
to
you
all
want?
of us
What you
MMP
want?
patients out
What
there
you want?
in radio land. This is Grandma from KTP. I tell you what, I hope y'all have a blessed one. You can hear my dog barking in the back. I've got 4 of them. They're my guard dogs. I'm in trouble with them. They eat more than I can harvest. You know what I mean? Well, I'm going to sign off of here. Y'all take care now. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
That's Grandma. She's a 61-year-old cancer patient, lives in the same park that I do. I showed the video of her earlier. She made a cake. It didn't work out so well. Welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. With me on the phone is Rick Thompson, also joining us during the break. Dan from Buzz News. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello and welcome. Happy New Year, happy holiday to you and everybody listening.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Is that politically correct now?
I don't know. I don't care. Look, I celebrate Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah or you got the Kwanzaa gear on, I don't care. It's the same joy.
Right. Christmas means holiday in America. You understand that?
Right. Everybody's going for the. Everybody's going to the to the Walmart to give their American hard-earned American money to the Red Chinese right away. That's what they.
Exactly. No matter what, that's who's winning this holiday season.
I say buy American. Have you guys seen the thing on ABC News about buy American and making American jobs? Buy some American Christmas gifts, American-made stuff.
No, I haven't. Yeah, we did a real big article actually in our 1-year anniversary paper that just was released about a month ago about buying local, and suggested several places in Michigan that offer local-made gifts, and even local produce, jellies and honeys. Those things are awesome gifts, and they keep the money in the economy. So, we definitely try to promote that to our children more than anything, because I figure our generation's a washout, but our kids, we can start teaching them the right way to do stuff.
Hey, this is a big agricultural state. There's all kinds of great stuff hanging out at the orchard right now, right before they close for the season. There's lots of good stuff out there.
Oh yeah, the grocery stores all the time. But the opportunity for Michigan sugar or potatoes or some of the produce, and it's a conscious decision that we have to make as consumers, whether it's in the grocery store, whether it's at our local dispensary, or whether it's in any other aspect. It may cost a little bit more to support the local businesses, but there's always a payoff in the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. The payoff is jobs for all of our residents.
That's right. Buy American, keep the money here. It works the same way inside the medical marijuana community. If this is made underground, all the money goes to foreign countries to arm people who are against us. Why not keep it here and keep the economy going? Isn't that a good thing to do?
Yeah, really it goes the same way even on the top side of the medical marijuana community when you have unscrupulous or ill-advised dispensary/safe access proprietors that are, trying to hustle in out-of-state meds and charge an astronomical price. What good is that doing for the poor Michigan guy that just had to spend his life saving on a 1,000-watt package?
Look, if you're hustling in marijuana from another place, you're probably not really a medical guy, anyways. How are you going to guarantee that the safety or efficacy of what that is?
Right.
Wouldn't you say, Rick? Yes.
But I've seen seen it. It's not hard to look at a piece of medicine and know that it's been on a road trip inside a freezer-tight bag for however long.
Yeah, look, if it's compressed, it's probably coming from Mexico.
Right. If it's round with no hairs protruding and little leaves broken off, it was probably vacuum sealed in a bag on its way from the Gold Coast.
Right, or BC, the BC Bud guys.
Yeah.
We don't want to pick a fight with our Canadian friends, but we probably should keep our marijuana on our own side of the borders for right now until we can get some of these things hashed out, politically and legally.
I agree 100%.
You got anything to chime in on all this, Rick? Yes, nothing. Awfully quiet in the background. Nothing. Nope. Hello?
What's that?
I was looking for Rick to chime in.
I'm here. Of course, as we all know, of course, it's not legal to transport marijuana across state lines. So anything that comes in from out state has always got a little bit of a taint to it as well. I can tell you that
Rick said taint. I'm sorry.
Some of the things that are sold in medical marijuana distribution centers here is more marijuana and less medicine. Sometimes that's out of necessity, and sometimes that's simply out of choice. But that's the beauty of having an open market system, is that if someone doesn't choose to take meds that they see at one place, they should be able to go to another. There should be options and availability so that everybody can find the comfort level that they have, whether they prefer something that's made locally here, so whether they prefer something that's of a higher quality that originates from another place. Options should be available, and that's the most important thing. Our patients should have that.
You just made another great argument for safe access models in these hybrid delivery type systems, where you've got caregivers with overages or surpluses that they can't hang on to legally, bring it to a place where they can give it to people who are authorized to have it and get rid of it, to people who are authorized to again have it. So this gives them choices. It gives them options that were not available even with their own caregiver. Their own caregiver can only do so much at a time. This gives them plenty of other options, and it gives them other things to try, so that in case their caregiver may not be producing a certain type of medicine for them, they stumbled across something that works better for them. Now they can have them produce that for them.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Safe access centers are obviously something that needs to be established in the state of Michigan so that the patients do have a choice. The patients can decide for themselves and have a variety. It's common to have a falling out with somebody over a couple, someone didn't hold the door open or rubbed you wrong that morning, and you don't ever want to go back there and do business again. So it would only be, beneficial to the whole community to have safe access centers established. And I'm a strong supporter of safe access centers, but I'm not a strong supporter of safe access centers that are, putting their doors open in front of churches and, across the street from drug rehab places. I think that's just careless decision making, and it's a negative for the whole community.
Do we see this very often though? Is that happening a lot? I've not seen this. Can you give us an example, or would that be inappropriate?
Yeah, over in Lansing, one opened, and the parking lot was right in the parking lot of a drug rehab center. And then I believe it was.
That's just disrespectful, I think, in many ways. You wouldn't want to open up an alcohol store selling booze right next to a place doing AA meetings either.
Yeah, it's just it's not. Can it be done? Yeah. Does it say we can't? No. But why don't we just take a little bit of moral responsibility and think about where we're placing these, and think about when we're making a $15,000 neon order, if that's what we should really be doing out on Main Street.
Well, self-regulation is a big part of this, isn't it, Rick Thompson?
Well, of course, self-regulation is a big part of it, but just like in any other industry or any other circumstance, there are certain bad actors that sometimes make it seem worse than it is for everybody else. We could all point to those single instances in the city of Lansing, or perhaps in the one instance that you seem to be citing in the city of Owasso, and completely ignore the hundreds of others that have gone in compliance. I find it very difficult to stomach a complaint about medical marijuana distribution centers that's predicated on an example based on 1 out of 500. If you're saying medical marijuana centers shouldn't be doing this, I'd like to see a number of them doing that before that seems to be legit. It's a single complaint on a place that's already closed.
Well, I would suggest maybe that rather than complain amongst ourselves about this or point fingers and cause dissension, why not we talk to each other about what's appropriate, what's not, and agree what to do, what not to do. I think that's the better course.
where local option comes in. When we allow individual communities to set the rules, then there's no way anybody can be in dispute. And if Owasso chooses to have different rules than Lansing, then so be it. Each individual community is available to adopt their own rules so they can feel comfortable with what they're doing, and the individuals inside that community can feel comfortable too. It's when there's a lack of direction from the state, or when a lack of direction specifically in the law that happens, that the situations that Dan's describing come about. And that allows those bad actors to take these things in a like a Greenleaf Smokers Club from Williamson, where there's a huge excess of poundage. Those situations are meaningful, lasting examples that everybody cites against us, and it detracts from the whole. So the point is absolutely true that these people should think twice before they make a single action. But I think we can do a better job of giving them direction on a statewide level as far as what's acceptable and what's not.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I agree that our politicians should step up to the plate and, try to nail this down in a justifiable way that appeases both sides of the table and lay out some regulations, some laws that, doesn't have to be laws, suggestions on what to do with these things. It's great that this economy is, coming into Michigan, and people that haven't had money and jobs for a very long time are starting to be able to pay their bills and put gas in their car again. And, with any economy, it needs regulation. There's knockoff purses on the corner. There's bootleg Marlboros at the convenience stores. So, those types of things are going to be. It's just, it's
there's no way around it.
I guess.
There's no way around it.
Right. When we saw the internet boom, you saw a lot of individual people in their basements able to make money for their families off something that didn't require them to take a job outside, or something they could do in their off hours. So they were able to capitalize on an emerging market in order to put food on their table and to make them have a better quality of life. This is exactly the same thing as that internet thing, where people can actually use their spare time in their home, in their basement, and make a little bit of extra money to give their family that comfort zone, the bank account, or the extras that they've always had. And for some families, it's a difference between going hungry or having food. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. I've encountered several families that have shared stories with me about how they were just on their last bit. They got kicked off of state assistance, and this was pretty much the last thing that was going for them. And I believe, I don't know if anybody has access to the information, but if I know in 2008 there was a large amount of people that were buying U-Haul trucks and getting out of Michigan as fast as they could. And I believe the numbers from 2009 to 2012 would reflect a different story, where we're actually bringing people back into Michigan and building up our workforce.
I know Mark Rose from formerly from Grateful Meds dispensary in Denver, Colorado, or in the suburbs of Denver, came to Michigan. He has family in Michigan. He'd love to open up stuff in Michigan, but they're scared away from coming here because of the political environment created by our Attorney General, which is like where I'd like to change the focus of this conversation to. I got two more subjects I'd like to get out of the way before the next break. One's the Attorney General, and then the other one is it's escaping me. Let's get to the Attorney General. What do you guys see? What do you guys see? I had a little presidential moment there, didn't I? Oops. So let's talk about the Attorney General and what do you see coming out of this? Let me first ask Rick. You've been kind of on top of the Attorney General with what's going on. Can you tell us what you see coming out of this and where this is going? Didn't the Attorney General on the 20th of December, being live today, but a few days ago on the tape show, didn't he hold some kind of press conference? I didn't know about this until you told me about it earlier today.
Actually, today he had a press roundtable with some folks from the press, from National Public Radio and MMRS News Service and Reuters and that. And basically he outlined some of his accomplishments from this last year and his hopes for 2012. And he told that group of people that he was definitely not done with medical marijuana, and that his next big move was going to be to prevent felons from becoming caregivers. He also banged the drum on his standard old lines about how the law was hijacked. It's not really a medical marijuana law; it's a front for legalization. And also how the medical marijuana is not really a fact of law; that it's a fallacy.
Well, first off, I would just like to know how you hijack a law. How do you hijack a law? You can hijack a plane, you can hijack a bank truck, but you can't hijack a law.
It's one of those convenient phrases that connotates illegal activity in people's minds. So he uses that as a phrase, and people pick up on it as a buzzword, but it really doesn't have any basis in fact. But it does make it seem like there's illegal activity associated with this law by using terms hijack or fraud or deception. As he said, we deceived people into voting for the law in 2008.
Well, groups can't hijack anything. Anyways, hijacks are perpetrators that are individuals. One guy hijacked.
Actually,
There's a war on drugs either. So there's no
if your name starts with senator, governor, any of those big prefixes, then I think you actually do have the ability to hijack laws.
Well, you're right about that because the guys that are in control of power, I love that laugh. Do that again. See, he's got such a goofy laugh. I love it. I'm going to tape that and just, play that for people. I'm going to use that as a drop, the Dan laugh. So, look, the other event. So, where do you see this going, Dan? With the Attorney General, do you see some stuff happening in the future? Where do you see things going?
I say let the Attorney General. He's his own worst enemy. That guy, he talks out of the side of his mouth, and then he talks out of the side of his ear, and he don't even know what he's saying. He's like a drunken uncle that you hate to run into.
I was going to say, Rick knows about this, but we released that. Are the dogs there? Is that the sheriff? What's going on?
No, that's my dog.
Okay, just making sure. It's not a no-knock raid. Okay. The thing was, he knows about this. We released this iTunes song. If you go to iTunes and look up the Billy Bong song, we released it on iTunes. It's pretty badass. It's kind of funny. Particularly the artwork.
Yeah. So, anyways, he talks on one level. He's all about excluding federal law omissions for abortion rights per the state. But now when you come into a law that's already established, voted by a majority of the Michigan voters who happen to be the hardworking individuals that are taxpayers, providers of families, I believe if you let him go long enough, he's going to blow up. You're starting to see things like in Berry County where the judge has now determined that it is legal to transfer medicine for sale. The big court ruling in California, which, states that the federal law does not preempt state law. These are big things that are just going to be uncovered, and we're going to have more and more victory as time goes on.
They don't affect us yet, but they are indicators, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So the other topic that I recall I wanted to talk about was events. You got events coming up, Rick? What events are happening?
Well, we also still have, in addition to the Big Daddies, court hearing on the 21st, which is at 1 o'clock. Then the Blue Water, that's in Mount Clemens, Michigan. Blue Water's situation in Worth Township, which is at 6:30 on the 21st. Also on the 22nd, there's a protest in Bay City. The folks involved at the center up there are going for their sentencing.
Oh, right,
so we have 3 different events coming up in the next couple of days, and this broadcast may miss some folks on that. But remember to tune in to take a look at RadioWeedShow.com and hit the calendar function there. You'll be able to see a lot more events than we're able to broadcast right here and right now.
We got some stuff coming up in January, amongst them the first annual Medical Marijuana Achievement Awards that we're labeling the Buddy Awards. That'll be kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Dan, do you guys got some stuff going on? Do you have some things that you're aware of, court events or public events that are happening?
The Buzz News, as you might know, we try to stay focused on the positive aspects of our law, the positive things that are going on to help keep the moral of the community up. So, we try not to, we do on our website use it to, announce things like protests and stuff, but we don't publish that. And the Buzz News is working on something. I'll give you a hint. It'll be on 420 weekend, and it's called the Greene Party. And the headline...
Go ahead.
The headline talent is we got Bad Fish, Humphreys McGee, Warren G, and the Dog Pound.
Wow. So we got some stuff coming up.
Look, 420 weekend is going to be huge. Buzz News.
Guys, we got to go to break. Dan, we got to go to break. We'll be right back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Don't go away.
Got something to say?
Call now toll free. 855-MMM Radio. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective. Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Green Bee Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Green Bee Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Green Bee Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402. You know, it's the holiday season when we look back in our lives, when we're spending time with our families, where we look back and appreciate the things that have happened throughout the year, and then look forward to the things that are coming. So it's in that spirit of the holiday season that the Medical Marijuana Radio Show proudly announces the first annual Michigan Medical Marijuana Achievement Awards. This is a time where you can honor somebody who's rolled up their sleeves and done something good for the community. The Achievement Awards are a fundraiser. Go ahead, do it right now. Nominate a friend for an award at RadioWeedShow.com. Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville. Medical Marijuana Certification. And now you can find out everything you need to know online at getpotid.com. Or write down this toll-free number, 855-DOC-CERT. A friendly specialist will direct you to our Farmington Hills office. Medical Marijuana Certification. GetPotID.com. It's the key to getting your card. Information, resources, and in the end, if you're qualified, a medical card. Call toll-free right now, 855-DOC-CERT. That's 855-DOC-CERT. It's GetPotID.com. The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. Hey, welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. A little loud right there. We're taping the show for 1310 a.m. Detroit's Progressive Talk today. So if you're listening on the taped program, you won't be able to call in. So we're calling people out. We just got done with Rick Thompson and also Dan from the Buzz News. Merry Christmas from the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. On the phone with me now is Eric from Genesee Triple C and the FlintTalkRadio.com show up there in Flint. Welcome to the program, Eric.
Hey, thanks, Steve. How's it going, buddy?
It's going really well. Look, I didn't get a chance to catch your show live last week. Your program airs Wednesdays, 3 to 4 p.m., yes?
Yes, correct.
And so I didn't get a chance to catch it live. I was busy detailing stuff out with our program, but I did get a chance to piggyback it on the back of our show and put it up on iTunes. I thought that was kind of cool.
I know. I appreciate that, Steve. I really appreciate your efforts and all this. Is great coordination ever.
Look, I wanted to reach out to you to talk about stuff going on at this time of the year. I noticed that the people up there at the Blue Water Compassion Club up in the Thumb area ended up with all of their Toys for Tots, gifts, their donations that they were collecting, charitable gifts. I can't believe that they took money and toys and stuff from children in a raid. It's appalling. But that happened up that way. Is there stuff going on up there that way that we can reflect on that it's good? Can we find some good news, some holiday cheer up there in the Flint area?
Well, so far, we've heard no cases being prosecuted in Genesee County as of yet. So that's good news.
That is good news. I don't see that happening either. I don't foresee that happening. I'd hope that the Attorney General doesn't try and dig his meat hooks into the state police and try and stir up, some poop there.
Right. And I think that's the positive outlook. And I think, if anything, I hope that Genesee County is sort of a positive example to the rest of the state of Michigan, that look, this can work in our community, this can be accepted in our communities without there being problems or increase in crime. Those accusations are really arbitrary, and really patient access is the most important key. It should be convenient access, safe access, and it should be polite and professional. And that's the way I hope that the rest of the state of Michigan can progress forward. And I hope that the municipalities and local officials, officers included, state troopers and so forth, will look at this and realize that, look, this is not a big deal. It doesn't cause increased problems, and that really the Attorney General's position is really a farce.
Smoke and mirrors. It's one-sided profiteering, is what it is. He's trying to line his own pockets at on the backs of the people.
That's exactly it. Yes.
Do not ever be fooled by Attorney General Schuette. Billy Bong, because apparently marijuana is the gateway drug to the Attorney General's office. If you look at Mr. Billy Bong's history, smoking the pot in high school and college, that's how he got the nickname Billy Bong. It is. It's absolutely true. Ask his friends.
I know. It's incredible.
It's just silly. The hypocrisy involved here is crazy on its own. But then on top of that, to align yourself with powers that want to take the money associated with anything that could possibly come from the benefit of hemp or marijuana or medicinal marijuana, anything involved in that, or the chemical industry. Dow Chemical, hello. Midland County, hello. This is where Bill Schuette's from. This is where they had to file the recall petition, because that's where he comes from, is Midland, Dow. He is the meat puppet for Dow in state government. I hope that people don't take their eyes off that idea, because I think he's about to blow up on his own by himself. I think he's really about to. I think he's already starting to back off of his own positioning, because he realizes that he's such a clown in the public eye.
Well, the one thing I think that people should understand too is that the state has been implementing these policies. These dispensaries and compassion centers have been implementing the policies correctly. I work at one, and all day long I check IDs. I'm very thorough, very professional, looking for anomalies, questioning people, asking them, concerns and so forth. And that's just, it has been implemented correctly by those that are following the rules, and there's many shining examples of that. So these accusations that it's not helping patients is all a farce. And it really angers me, because I work in the front lines of this, and I see sick people every single day, and these people are suffering from all kinds of diseases and ailments and conditions which are far beyond the capacity of things that every average day people suffer from.
And a lot of them elderly people. A lot of them are just old folk.
Exactly, and these are the people that Bill Schuette is hurting by his aggressive tactics. Brown shirt tactics at that, with the whole, state troopers and all that.
Right. Well, it's going to get worse until it gets better, unless we stick our foot in the pie and make something change. We've got to engage legislators, and I think we're doing a great job at that. Just looking back, if you look back towards the beginning of this year, reflecting back on the year, you're looking at like March and April, people were all celebratory still then. Real big actions had taken place. No real impediment had come down yet. But then as you progress through the summer, it gets uglier and uglier and uglier. And it just recently culminated, I think. I think you've reached the peak of all the garbage that's happening with this, because I think if you look forward this coming year, and people will be able to look back on this program and say, hey, he was right or he was wrong. I think they'll say he was right. In the coming year, things are going to change in a beneficial, positive way for this subject in the state of Michigan, God willing.
The other thing is that they I remember over the summer, things did get a little hairy there, intense. There's a few more court cases, and people were, charged. And I remember, that was sort of looking, glim. And that's what, caused the strength of our movement to come out and be up at the Capitol steps on September 7th. And that was a good showing and a good display of ourselves. And I thought we all pitched in and did an absolute fantastic job. And I think the MMA did an excellent job of really coordinating that well and working with everyone to make that event successful. And I think it was, because it really showed the strength of our movement and the importance of the people getting out there. That was far larger than any union rally that they've ever had like that and so forth. And the media didn't cover it enough. I wish they would have.
I think if that was an excellent event, number one. Some of the positive energy out there, if you were at the event, and you were, Eric, so you know, it was electrically charged out there. It's like nothing I've ever attended before. It was a very different event, but it was very electrically charged, and you could see the numbers of people that were not present and the faces of the people that were. The people who weren't present were all the homebound and the sick that had no voice, and the people that came. This is what caused a lump in my throat. That is, a lot of these people were sick too, but they pushed through their maladies and they traveled great distances to come and have their voices heard on the Capitol steps, and we need to keep that kind of stuff up until major change occurs. We need to not relent in that arena.
Absolutely, I agree, and it helps to strengthen everybody's spirits, because it helps everyone stay strong. You know, Hoss came into our place today and
Hoss the bounty hunter.
told us that many of the places on Michigan Avenue have opened back up, so that's a very positive sign. So I think that's what
we're talking about. Lansing.
Yes.
Wow. Ooh.
Yep. That's what he told me. He was there. He went into a few of them just yesterday and today.
I know TNT is staying open as a resource center, and they're still staying open as a recall bill shooting centers. You can go to TNT Patient Resources Center right on Michigan Avenue. They're on the right-hand side as you go towards town. I don't have their address in front of me, but it's pretty obvious. And re-sign the recall Bill Schuette campaign. By the way, you should do that. The big push began December 7th. We're looking to get about 1 million signatures between now and March 7th or March 5th.
Right.
I think.
Right. Yeah, we actually have a Bill Schuette recall petition here.
He's a horrible man. He's subverting the law for his own purposes. Are you going to let this guy stay in office? It's going to take a lot of signatures to get him out, but I think it's probably a good thing to do. And I think most of the people in the city of Detroit would agree. Get him out of there.
For sure.
I don't know if it's going to happen. It's a huge, huge uphill battle to get him out once you've elected him in. But the people did a crazy thing when they voted in this law and then voted in a guy to battle it. I don't get that. You know, that's just the roll of the dice, the way it worked out.
Right. You know, it's not even it doesn't even coincide with what the initiative and the act intended to be for, and that was to get the patients off the battlefield of the drug war. And instead, he puts them right in the front lines of the drug war and tries to, invade their homes and trample over their civil rights.
It's a lot easier to get to the police to police for profit than it is to ask for people for tax dollars for public safety. It's just much simpler.
Right. Well, their concern is the budget cuts and so forth, and their forfeitures is what originally gained them money. So they look at this as a new source of revenue.
Well, and the thing is that the source of revenue in this state just got spread a lot thinner, and the people on the teat of public forfeiture money, search and seizure forfeiture money, just got more numerous. More people,
right.
There's an equity thing that they just passed where a lot more different organizations and institutions have access to this money. So now they're going to get addicted to it, and the police are going to have less of it. So this is going to have an impact just by itself. Some of it positive, some of it negative. I'm not so in agreement with that law. I think you should just get people off the idea that police should, that you should find a useful purpose for this money as extra. You shouldn't count on this as part of your budget.
Right. Well, the fact that the system is set up that way as it is, brings law officers into a propensity to seek that funding, seek that money. So they have a resistance to slow down and respect a voter-directed initiative. That's a major problem psychologically.
This equity thing that is passed is more corruptive legislation. The whole thing about assets forfeiture and seizure going back to police departments and prosecutors, that is also the initial poison. That's what poisoned the apple barrel. I mean, that's what started the whole thing rolling. They just spread it out a little bit and changed it. Like I say, it's going to have some effect, but, I think we should really start thinking about funding our our public safety officers with tax money, which is where it should come from. And then you know what you're giving them, and then you know what's going on, and you know what you're allocating. You're not guessing about what they can go rob from people who may or may not be criminals.
I agree.
Or trying to label everybody criminals so that you can take all of their money. That's the other way you could look at this.
Well, that's exactly what's happening.
So we're getting ready to go to break, Eric. We've got about 5 or 6 minutes left after the break. Can you stick with us? Because I'd love to talk some more about stuff happening in Flint and stuff specifically up in the Saginaw, Flint, Bay City area, Port Huron, and maybe even up in Traverse City. Can you hang on for a minute?
Actually, Steve, I've got to get going. I'm actually still at work.
That's okay. We'll let you go. Merry Christmas to you.
More of your calls next on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069.
If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320.
Medical marijuana certification. And now you can find out everything you need to know online at getpotid.com. Or write down this toll-free number, 855-DOC-CERT. A friendly specialist will direct you to our Farmington Hills office. Medical marijuana certification. GetPotID.com. It's the key to getting your card. Information, resources, and in the end, if you're qualified, a medical card. Call toll-free right now, 855-DOC-CERT. That's 855-DOC-CERT. It's GetPotID.com.
The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402.
Hey, Steve Greene here for the medical marijuana certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at MMMGreenBee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll be back broadcasting live on AM 1310 Detroit's Progressive Talk, WDTW, on Christmas, actually New Year's Eve. It's Christmas Eve now. Look at that. We just had a bunch of great people on the program. You're going to hear more of these people next year on this show throughout the year, and we hope to incorporate you. We also hope that you'll nominate somebody this year for a Buddy Award. The Buddy Award's taking place in Ann Arbor on January 29th. It's the Medical Marijuana Achievement Awards. If you know somebody who's rolled up their sleeves and done something good for the community, go to radioweedshow.com and either click on the link on the front page that says nominate, or you can go to radioweedshow.com/nominate, and you'll get the fill-out form. It costs $25 per nomination to nominate somebody, but they're all going to be honored at the Achievement Awards ceremony. They'll be honored, brought up on stage, given a certificate at the end of the awards ceremony. A group of 75 people will have voted on the Achievement of the Year award winner. And that would be the Buddy Award winner for the year. So we hope that you'll get involved and do that. Do something positive. It's a great thing. There's a number of people. God, I could list a whole group of people that are just so deserving to be nominated for a Buddy Award and to win a Buddy Award. Let them vote on it. So it's kind of like our own little Academy Awards thing. Look, it's a Buddy Award. I think it's kind of cool. It'll take off. It'll like gangbusters. Also, if you get a chance, go download the Billy Bong song. The Billy Bong song available on iTunes, Google Music, Rhapsody, Amazon MP3. There's all everywhere. Find it at your favorite retailer online. Piss Off Bill Schuette by downloading. It's great artwork. It's simple stuff, but it's flames in the background, Billy Bong with horns. The Billy Bong song. It's fun stuff. It really sends a political message. It's not funny at all. What Billy Bong's doing is not funny at all. The song's not funny. The song has an impact behind it. I hope you'll get a chance to enjoy it. It's 99 cents. So do that. That'll be a fun thing. And then also, as we're looking forward, coming up this year, go to radioweedshow.com/calendar. Or you can click on the link on the front page. That calendar, Rick Thompson mentioned it earlier in the program, is full, chock full. It's an interactive thing. The websites are listed for any events that are there. You can click on it. It'll take you right there. You can also save that if you've got a smartphone or something. Just save that link. Bookmark that page. It'll save it right out as almost like an app icon right on the front page of your smartphone, and have that accessible to you at all times. We update it on a regular basis. That being said, I want to thank all of the people who've supported the Medical Marijuana Radio Show throughout the year. We'll talk more about that on the year-end show coming up 7 days from now. Well, for you who are listening live, it's a little bit longer than 7 days. But, that's the disparity between. This is the first time we ever taped the 1310 show. I think it worked out pretty good. What do you think? You can make comments. We're on YouTube. There's a comments place for all this stuff. Please feedback to us. Tell us what we can do better, how we can make this program better, how we can make things better for you if you're involved in the medical community. If you're a patient, if you're a caregiver, you can call me anytime. I'm giving you my personal cell phone number. It's 810-423-2350. Or you can just do this. Write steve@radioweedshow.com. I'm not trying to push the website. The website's just supportive of the cause. It's supportive of this radio show. We want to thank Mike Gerson and all the people at Clear Channel for giving this opportunity to us throughout the year. They don't give it to us. We have to pay for it, but they make it accessible to us, and it's very, very important that we're able to have this public view, this public window, this public opportunity to keep fighting back in the face of smoke and mirrors from people like Bill Schuette. General Bill, watch out. We've got our targets aimed at you the rest of this year, and as long as you're in office and railing against this topic or anything else that helps hurt the people of the state of Michigan, because you're supposed to be their proponent, their advocate, their friend, their mentor. You're not. You got horns on. Take them off, please, before we get rid of you. We're going to fork you out of office. So that's what we got to say. Again, thanks for being on the show. Join us next week on 1310 a.m. Detroit's Progressive Talk, WDTW, when we'll be again live. Until then, you can see us every day this week on RadioWeedShow.com. Folks, thanks for coming.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show and RadioWeedShow.com are trademarks. Copyright 2011.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
Hey, it's me again, but this time I'm in a commercial. The reason I'm in a commercial? Well, we sell stuff here. Wouldn't it be, don't you think this is a great visible spot for your commercial? Wouldn't you like your commercial to be here? Instead of me talking to you, I could be talking to your clients. We could be selling your stuff, hawking your wares. It's easy to do. If you want to find out how, email steve@radioweedshow.com. That's RadioWeedshow.com.